Hey! Hello everybody, welcome back to Cooking with Puns. We are Lisa and Kyle. Oh wait, what? Sorry, Lisa and Kyle.
Are you sure you should be cooking? It's best not to cook when you're in an addled state of mind or sleep deprived. Just saying.
Today we are going to make apple crisp. I love apple crisp, and I haven't had it for years.
It was one thing that recently came up in conversation, and typically is more of a winter dessert because there's usually more apples from harvest time. Thankfully, because of our grocers, we have apples mostly year-round. So we gone into conversations and asked what did our mothers make best? What was the best thing we liked about mother's dishes and such? Mine was apple crisp. Mom liked to make apple crisp all the time, and it was something that was quick, easy, and delicious, and healthy. Minus the sugar, but you know, we'll bypass that for now. Bypass that for now. Dessert and a sweet deal every single time. So we thought, you know what? Today we're gonna make apple crisp.
So we have a recipe that we will put up the link to in the description. And we are going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees to start. We have greased a deep dish pie plate, but we're using a large baking dish here. It has already been greased. We're using spray olive oil and butter. Works just as well if you don't have that.
Otherwise, you're going to be having a very hard time scraping off a lot of the cooked apples.
Yeah. We have 5 cups of sliced fresh apples. And we have half a cup of granulated white sugar, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. That will be for our filling. Okay.
You know,
there's filling, and then there's also topping.
So for our ingredients, we have about 5 cups worth of sliced apples. I find it's easier to cut them in smaller chunks. That way they cook more evenly and they cook a little bit faster. That way you don't have to wait as long for your nice tasty treat. We have half a cup of granulated sugar, we have half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and we have a teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're going to mix it in and make a coating on the apples just to help them cook evenly and absorb all the tastes and flavors, and it's going to taste delicious.
Yes. The sugar, cinnamon,
Cinnamon.
and vanilla extract. I'm extracting something. Hopefully it's still humor.
Time to mix things up. Woo.
So now we're going to mix the apples with the ingredients that we've added in, and we're going to mix until evenly coated. Hopefully you brought your galoshes because that parka isn't going to dress itself. So we have mixed all of the apples and the other ingredients together, so they look pretty evenly coated right now. So what we're going to do now, in a separate medium-sized bowl, we're going to combine the flour, oats, brown sugar, salt, and cinnamon.
So cinnamon,
apples.
cinnamon,
That's the salt,
packed brown sugar,
and then our flour. Okay, and our oats. Now for this next, in the same step, we are going to pour in melted butter. And the melted butter is going to be 1/4 cup. Obviously we had to leave this step until right now, because otherwise it would solidify by the time we started actually putting it in.
So we're gonna not just melt hearts, but melt some butter.
Okay, so now we have melted the 1/4 cup of butter.
He's just trying to butter us up, folks.
Absolutely. And this is a microwavable cup, and we have some beautiful little penguins on the front.
Penguins are one of my favorite animals, so they do show up quite a bit in our cupboards.
Yep.
So, now that we've mixed it up, what's the next step?
We are going to pour in the melted butter and stir until well coated and crumbly, which you are doing now. After that, we will sprinkle.
Crumbs.
It's a crummy idea, isn't it?
It is a crummy idea.
Well, I guess that's how the apple crumble is going to crumble.
That joke crumbled.
Yes.
I have a very crisp sense of humor.
So we're going to sprinkle the crumb mixture evenly over the top of the apples.
Oh.
Once we put the apples into the pan.
So why don't we do that first? Make sure that the apples are evenly distributed as best as possible.
Yeah.
That way they cook evenly and they're not as, lumpy or anything like that.
Yeah. So that's what it looks like right now.
Don't be afraid of your apples getting a little brown on the outside. Once
Yeah.
they've been sliced, naturally because of the oxygen, they oxidize, which means they turn brown a little bit. Doesn't mean the apples have gone bad. It just means they've been exposed to the air for a little while. One thing I know that restaurants typically do to help preserve them from doing that is they'll have them in a bit of lemon water or a bit of citrus to prevent the oxidization from happening so fast. So we don't need that for this, but it can add a tangy twist to your apple crisp if you like.
All I heard was science, science, science.
Tasty science. Blah, blah, blah. Science, science, science.
Bigger.
And bigger is better.
Now, bonus points if you can think of where that quote came from. It's a movie.
So let's evenly distribute this out.
So
as
we
much
do
as-
have multiple floppers. Yes, I love that joke. Come on. We're going to evenly mix the crumpets on top.
Crumpets. Where's my tea and crumpets? I want my tea and crumpets.
So, I think that looks wonderful, don't you? That looks pretty darn good, eh?
So let's put it in for, how long do we put it in for?
We are going to put it into our preheated oven for 45 to 60 minutes until fruit is soft and the topping is golden brown.
So we're going to have a golden finish for a delicious apple crisp, and we are going to see you in a few minutes. For you, it's going to be a couple of seconds. For us, it's going to be about 45 minutes of torture smelling this bake. So.
We will throw some puns in while this is cooking, so stay around.
What does an apple say to his husband?
What?
I absolutely love you.
Absolutely love you too.
Absolutely. That was absolutely
Try saying that 10 times fast.
No. What did the judge say to the apple when it won the competition?
What did it say?
You're awesome to the core.
Oh, there's the core of your happiness.
Why was the apple so good at exercise?
Why?
Because he kept working on his core.
What did the apple say to the banana?
I don't know.
Well, it's been a slice.
What happens when an apple gets left in the sauna?
What?
Turns to cider.
What did the apple say when it saw the apple crisp?
It got crisp with it?
It also said it looks appealing.
What did the apple say to the banana?
What?
You're appealing.
Why?
Why did the apple have to take his dog to the vet? To get rid of the worms.
Oh, where is an apple's favorite place to go for breakfast and lunch?
I have no idea.
Cora's.
Ah. What happens when the apple gets too close to the fan?
What?
Applesauce.
Oh.
What happens when apples had a night out on the town?
What?
He gets saucy. What did one apple say to the love interest?
What?
You're the apple of my eye. Why did the apple become a detective?
Why?
So they'd get their just desserts.
What did the apple say to the other apple?
I have no idea.
You're hardcore.
You know what's interesting about all the apples? They all have the same last name. All thanks to Granny Smith.
What are people looking for when they go to the center of the earth?
Its core values?
Yes.
Well, we've had a slice with all these really punny jokes. We're gonna go check on our dessert. Well, we've had our 45 minutes, and now we are going to take a slice.
We actually kept it in for 55 minutes just because the Goldeny had not quite gotten there yet at the 45-minute mark.
First slice is always the most awkward.
Yep. So once we get this out of the the pan, onto the plate, we're going to sprinkle it with some caramel sauce.
And that's something I didn't learn from Mom, but
Oh, we learned it from ourselves.
we adapted. But that's what you do with recipes. We're gonna add our own twist with a little bit of caramel sauce. Alright, got some caramel sauce, we got our apple crisp, let's dig in.
Closer is better. I might just take the whole thing.
Mine.
Alright!
What's in Apple's diet when he's working out at the gym?
What?
He's a juicer.
Oh, dang, that's good. Hope you enjoyed this segment of Cooking with Puns. Let us know in the comments what you would like us to cook next time, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!